Hi everyone, good evening, Jai Hind. This is going to be an amazing discussion on Olympiads on the basis of a lot of problems, a lot of questions which are asked by the students, the parents to me on Telegram, on YouTube, on our videos. And I'll be going to discuss everything honestly from my experience, what it has been for the last 7, 8 years on Olympiads. Let's get started. Now, one of the most important things which the students and the parents ask is कि Olympiads होते क्या हैं? Every other name contest है उसमें Olympiads का नाम आ जाता है. So what really are Olympiads and how are they different from the school exams? Now, one major reason, one major difference of the difference between the school exams and Olympiads are school test what you remember. So everything has been taught to you and you are being asked the same problems. And of course, these are important. They're important to remember. It is very important to remember things. And that is what schools test you. Olympiads test you how to think. Most of the problems which are asked in a lot of good math contests or so-called Olympiads are the problems which are new, which you have not seen before. So on the basis of the concepts that you know, that you've learned, you and on the logic, on the developed logic, you are required to solve those problems. So Olympiad एक actually particular test का नाम नहीं है. There are a lot of good math contests जिनको हम Olympiads का नाम दे देते हैं, जो non-routine mathematics test करती है. Non-routine mathematics is the kind of mathematics we should normally typically don't study in schools, which normally builds logic, which is actually required, in your life to solve problems which you have not seen before, to make you good in problem solving skills. So Olympiads test you how to think. They, make you think on the new problems and interesting problems. You are able to develop multiple ways, multiple angles to look at a particular problems. And of course, they focus on strengthening your reasoning and the creativity skills. So as such, it is a means to develop logic. It is a means to develop your creativity, which is definitely going to help you with, a lot of things in your life. Now, other problems, other questions which are our follow-up questions on this particular question is it only for toppers? Is it for average student? Kya karna hota hai? What is the right time to start? So we'll be talking about all these points one by one in this video. So first of all Olympiads only for toppers. I would say Olympiad से toppers बनते हैं, right? So there is nothing called topper. Every student is good in his or her capacity. But जो बच्चा खुद से सोचना जानता है, ultimately he will be able to excel in everything. And खुद से सोचना जानता का English version is logic, creativity, and which only gets developed when you solve problems like these that we do for Olympiads preparation, so-called good math contest preparation. So Olympiads are not only for genius students. In fact, Olympiads are the means to become genius. Someone who is genius, if you check his background, he would have always done something to improve his problem solving skills. Be it solving puzzles, be it solving, things like Sudoku, or, these non-routine mathematics problems. These are one and the same thing. So reality is curiosity, consistency, and willingness to learn. This is something which builds toppers, which builds geniuses, and this can only be done via Olympiads. So they are not for toppers; they are the means to become toppers. Okay, my child is average. Should I still make him do Olympiads, or the more reason? If the child is average, if you think he does not have a learning capability, he's not interested in studies, if you introduce Olympiads to him, they are not high level. बहुत सारे लोगों के दिमाग में, पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में ये कंसेप्शन होता है कि Olympiads is something, if this is school level, this is Olympiads. No. If this is school level, Olympiads is something which makes school more interesting, because ultimately it gives you a good breather to think about things on your own, which you've not done in your school, which the school typically don't give you time to think for. So Olympiads is all about spending time on a problem which you've not seen before, and ultimately you're able to explore a lot of amazing ideas. So if the child is average, child average एक ही reason से होता है कि वो time spend नहीं करना चाह रहा उस particular test subject के अंदर, because उसको boring लगता है. To make that subject interesting, you start by making things interesting around that child, and this is what we call Olympiads. So Olympiads are not only about teaching high level stuff. वो होता है, that is a part of one part of the preparation. High level means non-routine mathematics, but the most important part of the Olympiad preparation is to give him challenges, to give him puzzles, to give him interesting problems with which he spends time and ultimately levels up his interest, grows his interest, and ultimately it helps in school marks also. So if the child is average, the short answer is definitely yes. All the more reason to put him in Olympiads. The biggest misconception is Olympiads are only for children who have already scored 95% in school. Of course, if they've scored 95% in school, the reason they've done this is because they were already in Olympiad. So that is why you need to put the child into Olympiad preparation, non-routine mathematics preparation, so that he is also able to improve his interest. इंटरेस्ट कभी भी बच्चों को स्टिक से नहीं हो पाएगा कि यार मैं अगर तू नहीं करेगा देन आई विल नॉट गिव यू दिस और आई विल आई गेट एंग्री विद यू. सो इंटरेस्ट सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ही तरीके से पैदा हो सकता है जब उसको ऐसी कुछ चीज करने को मिले जहां पर वो एक्साइटेड हो to attend the class, excited how to meet the teacher, excited how to share his ideas. And this is what we do typically for the small students. Every class, we make sure we give some puzzle which the students are excited about, which the students discuss with their siblings, with their parents, with the school teachers, with the people around them, and ultimately discuss those ideas, get excited to discuss those ideas in the next class. Right? So this is the most important thing. Olympiads are the way to improve the interest of the child in a particular subject. Olympiads are not about where your child starts, they're about how the child grows because the interest level grows. What matters more than marks, right? So this is, I won't say one parent's problem, this is India's problem. We are more focused on marks, we are over-possessed with marks. What we should actually be asking is, does the child really enjoy solving puzzles? Does the child sit? बच्चे को बैठना ही नहीं आता because ultimately जब वो बैठता है he gets that boring stuff that he has to remember of school. But अगर if you give him something interesting to sit on, something interesting to ponder upon, he will definitely sit and you will not realize you have to push him कि भाई उठ जा seats. And this is what is happening with most of the students as we get the feedback from the parents. Is my child curious enough to ask why? We have to put a good habit in the children to ask the questions, not take the things as it is, and which is something which has been happening in the schools. They don't get to learn, get to ask the questions. जो भी उनको दिया जाता है, बताया जाता है, वो as it is absorb कर लेते हैं. One of the prime examples which I give to all the parents and the students is there's a very famous divisibility rule of 9. A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. A lot of students would know this, but very few students would ask why does it work? Why does it happen? What is the mathematics? What is the logic behind it? Does it work? Does the same rule work for 7 or maybe a number like 13? Answer is no. But why does it work only for 9 or for that matter 3? Right? So there is a mathematical logic to it. So we have to make students ask the questions why. Because if they stop asking why, the mathematical curiosity with time is going to go down despite his marks. His marks may improve because this is what the school tests. But that would not mean the child is good in mathematics. They're two very different things. Does my child keep trying after getting a question wrong? So this is again something which is a habit of a lot of students. If the child does not know the solution to a particular problem, he would not spend time on working on it. He would immediately jump to the solution, and that is something which we stop. Right? So solution, immediately watching the solution is the last thing which the student should be trying to do. In fact, he should be spending more time. It may happen that he might not be able to get answer, but again, he has to learn to be patient. And this is all the part of the Olympiad preparation. So Olympiad preparation is not about learning higher level stuff, which is a misconception. It is more about developing patience, developing logic, developing creativity. This is what we call Olympiads preparation. And of course, the child should be willing to learn something new because this is what he has to do all his life. Right? So this are the real life skills. With this, he is able to learn real life skills. And this is something which is more important than the marks. Will Olympiad affect school studies? The answer is yes, but in a positive way. If the child is good in Olympiads, as I mentioned, his interest level is going to improve. He's going to take more interest in any particular subject. And once that interest level starts developing, he's going to sit for longer hours. Now, and in this era, there are very few students, very few children who actually sit for longer hours. And this is the problem. And the only reason is that interest level is not there because he's not getting to learn interesting things. So will it affect the school studies? The answer is yes, but in a positive way. It is definitely going to improve the marks because he's going to learn new concepts. He's going to develop logical reasoning. The speed is definitely going to improve. The confidence is going to improve. And this is going to percolate not only in the subject mathematics, but in all the other subjects also. So better thinking is going to lead to better understanding. And of course, it is better school performance leading to the overall confidence of the child. Okay. Now, the next question is, when should the child start? Now, there is no right way. If the parents are spending time with the students, the children, and helping them think on their own, there are a lot of good puzzle books, there are a lot of good, math puzzle games. And a lot of parents I know are doing that with the children right from grade 3. If you're doing that, perfect. That is the Olympiad preparation only. Because Olympiad preparation, as I said, is not about, making him learn higher order mathematics. It is making him think, making them, solve the problems which they've not solved before. Right. So if they are already spending time with the children right from grade 3 onwards, giving them puzzles, giving them things to think about, and of course helping them developing their logic, perfect. That is actually the Olympiad preparation. If not, then of course we do these things right from grade 3 onwards. तो ग्रेड 3 के अंदर जो हम ओलंपियाड्स का कोर्स करवाते हैं, इट इज नॉट अबाउट मैथमेटिक्स. ऑफ कोर्स मैथमेटिक्स इज अ पार्ट ऑफ वन पार्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स. It is more about developing logic, making the students think, building confidence, making the students sit. And that can only be done once we are able to build that interest level. So 3 to 5 is all about, making students curious, making them, interested in mathematics with the fun puzzles, and of course, improving their thinking ability. Grade 3, 7, advanced concepts get added in mathematics because to do good math puzzles, of course, some level of mathematics has to be developed, and of course, the confidence building is something which is very important. And 8th onwards, of course, it goes to higher order mathematics. Some part of those concepts may be a part of the curriculum, some may not be a part of the curriculum, but again, those are something which are required. So this is what we typically do in these things. What if my child doesn't qualify? What if we prepare for Olympiads and if he's not able to do good in some of the good math contests that we're talking about? It does not matter. In fact, most of the stories are like this only. He would try, he would not be able to do good. But again, that does not mean the child is not good. It has no relevance. As I mentioned, good school marks does not mean the child is good in mathematics. They are two very different things. The same goes for Olympiads. Of course, building logic takes certain time and it is going to take its due course. But if he does not qualify a good math contest in the first go, that does not matter. There are ample number of stories you would be able to see in this particular channel wherein the child was not able to make it in the first year, second year, third year. But again, he did not give up and ultimately was able to do something good. And by something good, I mean in the top 0.1 percentile, either in JEE or in ISI, or making it to the top universities of the world, because he was able to develop those curiosity, those thinking skills, those logic. So success is always more about medals. Of course, medals is something which gives temporarily happiness to the children, to the parents. But again, it is the logic in the long run which wins. The child, what is more important is the child is able to think independently. This is something which is going to help him in the long run. His confidence is more important. Resilience, the attempt to not see the solution, to try till he succeeds, and the problem solving skills. These are very, very, very important skills which child needs to develop. How can the child begin? Of course, as I mentioned, the right age, there is no right age. If the parents are able to spend certain time with the students, are able to help them think, play some logical games, do some logical puzzles, of course, you are making them prepare for Olympiads. That is Olympiad preparation only. Okay, so challenging and age-appropriate problems, of course, good mentors definitely help, because one thing that good mentors do is not only give confidence to the children, but also improves the interest in one particular subject. Because if the interest improves in any one subject, it is going to induce in other subjects also. If there is a structured learning roadmap, if the things are not done randomly but in a structured way, a community of curious learners are there. If you are able to find the good learners, best learners of your age, not only in your country but across the globe, this definitely helps. And of course, regular practice and guidance is one thing. So this is what we do for all our students, and of course the results is in some of the good math contests that I was talking about, our students have been able to do really well. This is NMTC in grade 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. This is the only math contest which is good in India. So again, the students have been able to do really well. Right, some of these students, you'll be able to see these testimonials on our channel very soon. And look at this confidence level. Look at the way they're speaking. Look at the way they are able to think. The mathematical maturity will be different of these students when the video comes. Some of our students have been able to do really well in some of the good math contests like Math Kangaroo also. And of course, so these are the different batches that we are starting for the junior grades. So there are 2 batches for grade 3. There's grade 3 and grade 3 weekend. There are 2 batches for grade 4 and grade 4 weekend. 2 batches for grade 5, 2 batches for grade 6, and a batch for grade 7. A lot of these batches have started recently, right? So you can be a part of these batches because a couple of classes have already gone by, and can still be a part. The exams that we typically cover are school Math Kangaroo SOF for 3rd and 4th. 5th onwards, it is more about NMTC and Math Kangaroo. So these are the math contests which test the logical ability of the students, the mathematical maturity of the students. So this is where we focus on, and you can have a look at the class days and class timings of these batches. For grade 8 students, or for the students who are in grade 7 but are really good, this is a level 5 batch which we typically offer to the students of grade 7th who are really good, potential, done their school mathematics really early, and the students of grade 8 also. So यहाँ पर, of course, apart from teaching the logical skills, aptitude skills, we also focus on a lot of math core concepts, because this is the age wherein the core concept starts to develop, and it is very important to do certain concepts of grade 9th and grade 10th and grade 8th also, because there are a lot of good math exams around the globe like AMC8 which asks those concepts. And if you're able to develop those concepts early on, you definitely develop that mathematical maturity and able to solve a lot of problems which you think you were not able to solve before. So this batch is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. It is going to be taken by me, and there are going to be additional classes for NMTC and so on. Right, so this is what we cover. We cover algebra, geometry, number theory, arithmetic, and combinatorics. All these things are going to teach different life skills to the students, and the batch price is 10,999. And if you take that, this is a combo offer. That is the assignments, e-assignments is going to be given with each and every session, and this is the same e-assignment with in the form of the book. Right, so these students are going to get e-assignments also, but again, as these assignments are there as hard copy also, they'll be shipped to their places. The batch is for 11,499. So this is what we call OM level 5 plus book, the combo offer. And then there is a weekend version of the same batch for the students who are really busy on the weekdays, are not able to spare time. There's a weekend version which is going to start from 6th of August. It is going to be taken by Anirudh sir. And the classes are going to be on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays and Sunday, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Exactly same batch. Same thing we're going to cover. The duration is going to be longer because it is 2 classes a week. The earlier version was 3 classes a week. Right. So this is the same prices are there. Right. So the links to join all these batches are there in the description box. This is level 5 batch. Okay. And level 5 and weekday batch, the combo batch. And then this is the grade 6 weekday batch. Grade 6 weekday, grade 6 week batch. This is for the junior section. So अगर बच्चा 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th में है, then there is a junior batches I was talking about earlier. And अगर 8th में है, and if he's in 7th also but has done grade 7 syllabus, then of course he will be a part of level 5 batch. Okay, so these are the batches. The links are there in the description box. I hope you've covered all the questions which were there in your mind. If there are any other questions, please put this in the comment section. I will definitely reply. Take care. God bless you. Bye everyone.